here. Welcome back to my channel. I am super excited to be making this video today. I have to say it took enormous self-control to not dive into this deck until I had time to make a video. But I knew this was one I needed to share all of my first impressions with you guys. So as you can see by the title below, we are going to be diving into the Playful Heart Tarot by the beautiful Zara Kittenchops. And look at this cute package she prepared for me. So I met Zara at Northwest Tarot Symposium and she brought me a copy of her deck and graciously gifted it to me, and I am beyond so excited. Several of you guys have tagged me or pointed this deck out to me or mentioned it to me, saying that it was right up my alley, and I'm really excited, and I feel like it's Christmas because it's all wrapped and I literally cannot contain myself. So I want to preserve this little sticker, so hopefully I can open this without ripping it. Yay! Okay, let's see if I can. Yes. I might be able to stick it on something if I'm really careful. Yes. So I managed to save it. Ooh, I can stick that in my journal. I'm going to just like kind of put it gently at the edge so I can still get it off, but it's not so snug. Look at this cute cherry cellophane. Oh my gosh, like every little detail. Look at these beautiful prints. Are these double-sided? These are double-sided. So this one says, I am the Oracle. I know where my treasure is. Oh, I hope that's focusing properly. And then on the back, you are loved. I think this is the two, is this the Two of Cups or the Lovers maybe? Oh, and this cardstock, even on this print, feels really nice. Okay, so let's just, yeah, we'll do that side. And then this one, I'm guessing maybe, I wonder if that's the Empress? I mean, clearly I don't know because I haven't gone through the deck, but looks like it could be. And this one says Playful Heart Tarot, Kittenchops. Look at these adorable faces on these characters. I'm living for this. And the playful, free-flowing nature of the artwork. Oh my gosh. So the Playful Heart Tarot, oh my god, I want to tell you details, but I'm also really excited by the washi tape. Okay, the Playful Heart Tarot was on Kickstarter and is now available. I will have a link down below where you can pick up your copy. Oh my god, I love all this tape. Okay, can I save the tape? Am I being ridiculous? Okay, no, I can't save that tape. Maybe I can save this tape. Maybe. Ooh, yes! I can kind of save that tape. That's so pretty. It's like unicorn tape. I'm like, okay. I know I'm being silly, but oh my goodness. And I literally am one of those kids who like rips the paper. I don't know why I'm being so careful, but look! Look at this box. Oh my god, in the outside of the box, you guys, this looks like the same kind of packaging. Okay, I don't want to speak too quickly, and I don't actually know. I'd have to check with Zara, but this actually looks like it might be the same kind of packaging as the Pagan Otherworlds. In fact, I'm going to grab my box in a minute because this looks like it's very similar. If any of you guys know, let me know down below, but this literally looks like it's going to open. I feel like this is exactly how it was with my, Pagan Otherworlds. Maybe I'm wrong. I will grab it in a minute and look. Oh, you guys. Okay, so this box, I'm sure you can see all the metallic detailing all the way around. And then there's a lovely seal on the top. This has to be very similar. If the inside of the box is decorated, then we're gonna know. Okay, so what does it say here? It says fully, let's see, bring it up here. My eyeballs are not the best. Okay, so fully illustrated 78 card plus 4 bonus cards tarot deck created by Kittenchops Illustration, and there's a website, kittenchops.com, for treats and booklet. On Instagram, follow Kittenchops Illustration. Printed in Taiwan for Expert Playing Card Company, New York, New York. So maybe not the same printing company as Pagan Otherworlds, because I think that one was printed overseas. Excuse me. But I'm still going to preserve that, I still want to preserve that seal, so I'm going to open it from the bottom if I can. Oh, look! It says, thank you, kittens, and it's all metallic. Oh my god, I'm going to squeal through this whole dang walkthrough. I just know it. Alright, so it sounds like the booklet is available. Oh, sorry, distractible. It sounds like the booklet's available on the website, so I will check that out. It is a color inside the box. Like, it is like this really pretty kind of golden sheen. It's not just plain cardboard on the inside, even though it kind of looks like that on camera. It's got a sheen to it. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. what a great box. I know it's a tuck box, but it does feel much more substantial than a standard tuck box. Like you can kind of tell even just by the way the flap is, like how kind of sturdy and thick it is. So this is a tuck box that I think will hold up pretty well. And what does the seal say? All things wonderful are readily available. All things wonderful are readily available. Oh, look at all these little details. Gosh, she put so much heart into this. So here is what the card, they do feel a little slippery. Oh, they're linen. I think they're a linen finish. Okay, so here's what the backings look like. I know I'm a squirrel and I keep starting sentences and stopping them, but I'm very excited. Okay, so we have the pinks and purples on this side and the greens and blues on that side. So you will be able to tell if any of the cards are reversed. I don't read with reversals for most decks. Oh, these have a really nice like feel to them and the size is really nice. Okay, let me grab my Centennial Rider-Waite Smith and we'll just do a little check on the sizing because I think these are a little bigger. Yeah, they are a little bigger. So they are a little bit wider and a little bit taller than the standard Rider-Waite. It's a nice size. It feels like a nice flexible cardstock. Oh, there's like, okay, so let's look at this here because there's some extra stuff on the bottom here. Welcome to the Playful Heart Tarot. Oh, okay, so it talks about connecting with the cards. So this is basically like your little like introduction letter from Kittenchops. And then at the bottom it does say to visit www.kittenchops.com for your free booklet for the Little White Book download, tarot prints and stickers. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna set those aside. Okay, I cannot wait to like dive into these card by card. But yeah, just handling them, they feel like a playing cardstock. So they feel like they're really sturdy. They're super thin and bendy, but in that really nice playing card way. These feel like they're gonna literally last forever, which is amazing. No gilding, so there won't be any like sharp edges or anything like that to contend with. They are very slippery, so wish me luck as we get zoomed in here, but I think we're gonna manage okay. So let's move those out of the way. And let me just quickly hit it with just a little, as is my tradition here. Okay, perfect. All right, okay, I gotta stop playing and actually get zoomed in. I know we're 7 minutes in, you're probably like, what are you doing, Lisa? Okay, so let's get zoomed in and take a look. Oh my gosh, so right away, we have our Fool and we're leaping off the cliff. I'm going to zoom out just slightly so I have room to bring them into the camera a bit. Excuse me. I just dropped my whole Rider-Waite Smith Centennial deck on the ground, so I'm just going to pick that up. Not the most polished video ever, you guys, but please bear with me. Okay, so I'll put that away so that won't be happening again. Okay. So all of our happy characters here are diving off the cliff. I love that the little dog is like it's like, hi, I have the flower. Remember the flower? It kind of is this like little like, don't forget about me and like your inner wisdom sort of message here. I love that on the bottom here we have our titles, but it doesn't seem to distract in any way from the artwork. I'm living for the happy faces on these characters though, and the way they're just leaping off the cliff. That is brilliant. Okay, I know I can't talk that much about every card, but I'm going to want to. Okay, so we have our Magician. And this is really cool because the lilies seem to be sprouting from her dress. And then we have, I'm guessing, the roses up here. I love that the power is still up here in her hand. It's almost like the inside of her cloak is made of stars. I love the little cat ears. Oh, okay. I know I can't do this with every card, but I'm going to want to. Okay. The High Priest is deep diving for the treasure. This is one of the images I first saw from the Playful Heart Tarot that was like, oh my gosh, that has so much depth. Ha! That was an unintentional pun. It has so much depth that she's literally diving into the depth of her subconscious. This is so great because what is a high priestess except somebody who knows how to navigate those depths? I love that. Our Empress. Oh, I was right. That is the Empress. Look at me calling it. So she's got some, it looks like a little cat friend here. This reminds me of somebody like going to the park and like a little girl going to the park and dressing up and having her own little private tea party. These have such a joyful inner child feel. I love this Emperor. He's like inside this structure. Everything's ordered. He's got his neat pile of fruit in the bowl. His legs are crossed very uniformly. Like you can tell there's a rigidity and a structure to him. The Hierophant. We have our little supplicants here. And it looks like they're trying to get behind him and grab the little book of knowledge that's behind him. That's interesting. So he's being kind of a gatekeeper. But they're like, haha, we're going to grab it. And all that's what it makes me think of. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be, but... Oh, this is our lovers. So this print might be our Two of Cups. Look at these little monkey suit critters. I'm going to cough because I'm laughing. Excuse me, and I still have a bit of a tickle, and I'm sorry, I'm probably not going to edit that out. But look at this. Oh my gosh. I know I can't gaze at every card for this long, but oh my gosh. This might be a really long walkthrough, I'm sorry. The Chariot, and we have, this is great. She's like powering forward. She's got the kids in arms, carrying her staff. This feels like it's a representation of will. It looks like she's actually only one-legged here, missing part of a leg. And there's all these plants. There's definitely a sense of movement in this card, which I love. Even just the way her scarf and her hat are blowing behind her. Apparently I'm making everybody girls. I don't know. There's really a very inconspicuous gender in all of these cards, so I'm probably just seeing like me, little me in here. And I like that. You could probably see yourself regardless of gender. There's quite an ambiguity, I think, in a lot of them. Maybe not all of them, but in a lot of them there's some ambiguity, which I like. This Strength card is so fantastic. The lion is really big, but he's sort of hugging her back, and I love that. Very much befriending our shadow. The Hermit. And he's still got like a little kitten friend. I love this little like skull lamp that's sort of attached to his hat, but casting the light. The wheel, and it's a color wheel. This is so perfect. This person sitting peacefully in the center is exactly perfect for the way that I talk about the wheel. I talk about sitting in the center of change and how you feel it less when you make peace with it, right? And this is so perfect here. And I love that we have all of these representations in all the four corners. Justice. This is such an interesting character. We have sort of the fruit on this side. We have, I don't know what this is over here. I'd have to dive in a little bit more, maybe to the little white book. The sun seems to be shining directly on this figure, and I get this feeling like she's standing on a sword that's going this direction. Oh, she is the scale. She is the scale, and there's this sort of heart and a sword pointed upward right in the center of her heart, as if like she is the representation of justice. That's really powerful. The Hanged Man. I love this because you get this idea almost of like a flower that's just getting ready to bloom. Here's all the happy bloomed flowers, and here's this very patient, waiting, blissful bud ready to open. There's such a like otherworldly, almost Alice in Wonderland kind of feel, personality-wise, to these cards. Like you're being transported into this environment. In Death, we have somebody here whose tear is falling, and the petals are falling off the flower, and so everybody's having to reconcile this flower nearing the end of its life and having to let go. That's powerful. It's interesting because I think when we see decks like this, we assume, I think it's easy to assume that they're sort of surface level and that they can be too fluffy and light washed, and yet you see a card like this and it's got so much that it's saying to us if we really just pause and take the time and be patient with it and look. I love that. Oh, this Temperance card with all these rainbows. You get the feeling here that this person is literally, or this character, this elfling, this whatever creature this is sort of mixing the perfect blend, or painting even, these gorgeous flowers to get a rainbow. Are these strawberries? Almost like, you know what this makes me think of? It makes me think of like this little fairy is creating these rainbow white chocolate coatings for the strawberries. I don't know, that's where my brain went. I love that. Definitely balancing and mixing. Here's our devil. Ooh, interesting. So if you look closer at this card, well, I mean, I guess it's pretty close for you guys because you're looking at it on a bigger bigger image, but we have what looks like a kind of an umbrella drink, right? Like it's like a cocktail, and everybody's kind of tapped into this like concoction, and instead of a tropical umbrella, it's like this sort of dark shadowy umbrella, and everybody's really like fiending for this fancy cocktail, this intoxicating thing. And then outside is the sun shining, and we have this beautiful scene, and it's right there. They just have to walk away. This is so fantastic as a representation of the devil. Oh, this okay. I'm laughing at myself, you guys, because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like talk too much about every card, and I'm 15 minutes in and I've only made it to card 16. So I mean, you know, if you haven't paused to get a beverage yet, you might want to do that. So the Tower, this is so good, because we're looking actually at the destruction of what could be a relationship here. Two people, and the way that it's affecting them, and the way that the actual lightning bolt is going right between them. And there's different ways you could look at this too. You could look at this as the lightning bolt separating two parts of ourselves, right? The part that we need to let go of and the part we need to embrace. There's a necessary shedding that happens in the Tower as we break through and we break away. But I love this like kind of visual of these two people kind of being separated by this experience. And it reminds me of how when we go through really difficult, challenging experiences, a lot of times, for example, a death in the family, we can experience these big shakeups in the family dynamics, because it kind of these difficult or even traumatic experiences brings out sort of everybody's shadow, and then it can kind of go a little crazy. That's one of the things it makes me think of. I'm clearly just sinking right into these. The Star, this is so sweet. I love that this character is again naked and more vulnerable, because vulnerability is one of the things I feel about the Star card, and I think it really shows here. And this focus on the star in the sky, all of our symbolism is here. It's just a really playful approach. Oh, the Moon. Oh, there's so many layers here. So she's standing, and you get this feeling that she's protected by the light of the moon. There's these wings or wing-like shapes surrounding her, and all around are these like little beasties. There's like little monsters and shadows, and so you can go through this card and talk about the illusion and moving through your fears, but there's a focus on being safe and a focus on being held in that light of the moon. I just love that. The sun. Yes, this is one of my favorite ways to see the sun depicted. It's almost more Marseille style, where we see a couple of figures dancing or celebrating together in the light of the sun. For me, the sun is also a card about authenticity, and we see two people just sort of letting their guard down and being themselves here, which I really like. Judgment. I love that these characters are sort of being lifted up out of the flowers, and you get these little sort of dots of paint or dots of color coming out above them. These are all kitties, which I think is super cute. And the World. Now here's what's cool about this to me. This is like a whole bunch of characters, each in their bubble, like each having created their own identity and their own security and their own boundaries, and they're able to coexist and play together while still holding on to their own identity and their own space. This is really a cool depiction of the world. Whew, we made it through the majors. Okay, let's take a look at our minor arcana. So we're starting with the wands. We have the Ace. And I love how this figure is like holding on to fire, which is also part of him. And this, look at these everybody's so dang happy down here on the ground. This is so great. I don't think seeing these images at a distance does them nearly as much justice as seeing them up close. I looked at some videos of people talking about this deck, and I was like, I really want it. It's so playful and it's so fun. But seeing it in person, like, I love it 1,000 times more. It's really hard to describe. There's so many tiny details to notice when you're looking at it in person. All these little elements of the artwork. This Two of Wands with the double lion tail, both flaming, and this idea of like potential and like, look at all the places I could go. So powerful. And this is such a huge part of how I view the Two of Wands, is that sort of potential and what could be, and planning, and you can see the excitement in this character. And in the Three of Wands, we're actually starting to create something now. It's become more than just an idea, right? Like, it's built into a flame, and we also have this sort of collaborative energy we can see here too, if that's part of the way that you read with the Three of Wands. Celebration and some structure, a milestone reached in the Four of Wands. so good. I just want to sink into this world. The Five of Wands. Oh, interesting. It's like a race, and everybody's kind of coming at this race with a different energy. You can see who's being competitive, who's being self-defeating, and who's just enjoying the journey, right? He's behind, but he seems to be having the most fun, which is really interesting. The Five of Wands. Or sorry, excuse me, the Six of Wands. Our victor, he came in number 1. I wonder if there's a tie-in here. Nope. Okay. This looks so great. Everybody's celebrating and cheering. The Seven of Wands. Oof. Definitely you get that feeling of biting off more than you can chew here. You get the feeling of... It's interesting because here you don't feel like you're necessarily on the higher ground. And it looks like she has just the smallest little thing here to fight this big beastie with. I love that this is like a 7-headed beast with flame coming out of all of its various mouths. You definitely get that feeling of feeling overwhelmed and outnumbered. Yes, I love this Eight of Wands. Everybody's having all this like fun, happy, positive momentum. I love that. Sorry, I know I keep putting my fingers all over the cards. I'll try to be better about that. The Nine of Wands. All of the flowers are sort of drooping. He's been through some stuff. Battle weary for sure. The wings have taken a beating. But still shining his light. Interestingly though, it looks like he's only able to shine his light on half of his field and not over here. It's like all his attention is focused on this part and not this part. So you definitely get this idea of what happens when we let ourselves get to this place where we're depleted. Something always suffers. There's a real strong message here about self-care that I really appreciate. The Ten of Wands. He's trying to push this like big stubborn beastie along. This is so great. There's the finish line all the way up there, and everybody has to push their big beastie. There's a lot you can read into that too about the Ten of Wands. Here's our page. Jumping or playing in the sprinkler, has her candy. She's gonna have a good time. Our Knight of Wands. Little bit chaotic, little bit flamboyant. Love it. Our Queen of Wands. She's definitely got that like she knows what she's worth kind of energy going on. Oh, Peggy's sneezing. Bless you, Peggy. Oh, and now Bruno's howling because she sneezes and then he howls. It's like this fantastic combination. King of Wands. It sort of looks like he's overlooking a hospital, which is really interesting, like some kind of oversight happening, or sort of managing. And you get this idea that the King of Wands is a big picture thinker, is somebody that kind of looks at all the moving parts and thinks about how they go together and plans new projects, right? Like this could be actually a new building he's planning, and he's thinking about all the different ways to make that happen. You get this idea of drawings in the background, envisioning what could be. And I really see the King of Wands as sort of a visionary type figure, so this really works for me. Cups. Cups is my favorite suit. I am a water baby. Water baby. I'm gonna cough again. Excuse me. I still have a tickle, probably from all the talking at Newt's. Ace of Cups. I love that we have this sort of idea of, you get that same image of like an overflowing fountain and like all the blessings that are showering down, but it almost seems to be in the form of relationships or in all these like little characters, each a part of this like fountain of overflowing. And I love that this is a lotus. I love lotuses in my cups. Yes, Two of Cups. I thought so. Look at these happy dolphins. This is the best. I love this. I love this so much. I have no words. Oh my gosh. This Three of Cups though. There are 3 cups. Were there cups here? Yeah, I didn't even notice the cups. I'm so busy looking at everybody's faces. And we have our 3 figures. The Four of Cups. This is really interesting. Ah, here it is. Okay. So they're all having kind of a pretty good time. They're enjoying what they have. And here's this figure off in the distance, and it almost looks like he's still content and smiling, but maybe not getting as much out of the experience as he could, or he's looking for a different kind of fun. I'd be curious to see what the Little White Book says about this card, because that's really interesting, and I'm super curious about this figure in the back. This is such a sad Five of Cups. This is another card that I saw online, and the grief and the sadness here is so potent. And what's really interesting is while she's over here floating along on her solitary lily pad, suffering and experiencing all of her grief and pain, she's got a friend in the distance. It's like, hello, let me help. Oh, that's so powerful. The Five of Cups. Excuse me, the Six of Cups. I keep saying that. I keep getting drawn into the fives, and then here we are. Loving that there is like this unicorn and rainbow just outside, and we have this very like happy, like picturesque kind of setting and all these memories on the wall, and you get this feeling for sure of nostalgia and when a time when things were simpler. And you still have that sort of gifting element here, either from this character here you could perceive as giving a gift, or you could perceive her giving the gift, or you could perceive even this horse offering a gift from behind, right? This sort of unknown assistant or helper. The Seven of Cups with all the different choices. Sorry, I'm sometimes getting bits of it off. I'm really like lost in the moment. Oh my gosh, so this is all the different, oh, this is like a soda machine. So she's trying to decide, does she want lemon, cherry, orange, peach, strawberry, or cola? And all these cups are under each of the things, or just water, I think, in the center there. That is so great. I'm really lingering in the Eight of Cups. Interesting here, I almost get this feeling like these two are bickering and this person's like, yeah, I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm out of here. Like, I'm done. And you get this, that may not even be conflict. That's just the first thing that my intuition saw in this image. Nine of Cups is my like go-to card to see if I'm going to like a deck a lot of times. And I love this. I love all the joy. I love all the happiness. I love that there's an idea of fulfillment, and the fulfillment seems to be being surrounded by a community, and that the abundance is in that emotional fulfillment and not so much in the material, which is what I look for in my Nine of Cups. Happy Ten of Cups. This is really cute. Again, I'm loving the gender ambiguity. I, of course, see two females here, but I don't think it necessarily... Sorry about the barking, guys. Go get her. I'm not about to interrupt all these free-flowing thoughts, though. So we have these characters playing off in the background. This does look like two females to me, but again, could be gender ambiguous. I love that there's the rainbow in the background. I like that the rainbow is not necessarily in your traditional rainbow order. It's just like a small kind of fun detail, but instead of it being like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, it goes yellow, orange, pink, purple, green, maybe a bit of periwinkle in the background. This Page of Cups is so perfect. She's listening to music. She's sort of in la la land. She's wistful. She's dreaming. She's fantasizing. There's all these like magical things happening around her. The Knight of Cups you can really see is leading with his heart for sure. Shayla. That's Shayla you hear in the background. Queen of Cups. Boy, she sure looks comfortable in her element. And yet she's not alone. I don't think there's really any aloneness, true aloneness we see in this deck, which is very comforting, particularly when you're wanting to look at inner child issues or you want to look at shadow work. This would be a very supportive and nurturing deck. Oh, the King of Cups. He definitely looks approachable, comfortable. His water's a lot more stable. You get this idea that he's the captain that knows how to navigate all of these seas. Alas, cups are over. Time to get into swords. Here's our Ace of Swords. I love that it's cutting through all of the clouds and you get this bright light of clarity. We have the indecision and the immobility of the Two of Swords. It does look a little bit more precarious in this card, which is cool. Fairly traditional looking Three of Swords. I almost said Three of Hearts. That's so funny. And you have like the rose, you have a sword, you have thorn. Looks like there's like a spear. Oh, okay, there's just different kinds. There's like an arrow. These are rose arrows, and then you have this sword, this big chunky sword through the middle. And all of these emotions down below, all these characters, I don't know if you can see them, with their faces underneath. This deck is not shying away from the difficult cards, that's for sure. Our Four of Swords here, just sort of resting. You can definitely get the idea of sort of resting after a long journey or after a long trip. He's a little bit dusty, and it looks like this might have even been a fighter. And in the Five of Swords, man, look at this bully energy you have coming through. It's like this guy's been, he's holding the swords, or he's even been stabbed by the swords, but he's still like dominating. He's like a bull. And you definitely get that bull in a china shop kind of energy. And here's these just like little figures trying to defend themselves and kind of failing. That's definitely is what the Five of Swords can feel like at times, isn't it? The Six of Swords. Oh, I love this. So they're being carried away. There's like almost like a like one of those, I can't remember what they're called, where you can carry somebody like a baby and the things that go around the body. I like that we can't really see who's doing the helping, but you definitely get the idea that there is helping happening, sort of a shepherding away. I really enjoy that. Seven of Swords. I love that his nose is long. Like he's clearly gotten away with something, and these two people are left like, what happened? Can you see them? Oh. The Eight of Swords. Oh man. There's so much to see here. She's definitely feeling stuck. She's surrounded by like almost like snail-like creatures. And then here's somebody like shouting a loudspeaker at her. Like this is really great, because a lot of times what's happening in the Eight of Swords is that we're overwhelmed by too many options or too many opinions. Sometimes there's just so much hemming us in. And this really gives you that feeling of being sort of not being able to get clear about what you need to do next, because there's just too much noise. Whether that noise is coming from inside your head, your own inner critic, all that kind of stuff, or from outside of you. Lots of fear in this Nine of Swords. Aww. She's not having a good time. And she's like on a bed of spikes here. Aw, Ten of Swords. It's like a balloon that's been stabbed with a bunch of pins and is deflating. Sad balloon is sad. Here is our Page of Swords. She will get to the bottom of this. So much personality. I love it. The courts are great in this deck. The Knight of Swords. She's going to go take down a beastie on her beastie. Love it. Oh, this is a nice Queen of Swords. I like this. She's a little bit less, sorry, I just bought my camera. She's a little bit less rigid looking. She's definitely focusing on light and truth, but she looks like she may have some knowledge and some degrees behind her. She's got her laptop. She's going to be no nonsense, but she looks approachable, and a lot of times the Queen of Swords doesn't look very approachable. And our King of Swords. He's holding some playing cards. He's got a martini. Interesting. I like the light around his head here. There's a helicopter in the background. You definitely get this idea of sort of power and authority in this card, and a sort of neatness or cleanliness to the environment. Now we're into Pentacles. Is this our last suit? Gosh, this deck, it's like a time vortex. I feel like I'm just sinking into it. Ace of Pentacles, all the opportunities and the upside down umbrella to catch them. Excuse me. The Two of Pentacles. I love this. This is very almost Marseille-ish. And you get the idea. This is interesting because it makes me think of a saying. Oh, Peggy knows the saying. Honey, what's that saying about focusing on the penny, not the dollar or something? Chasing pennies, losing dollars. That's what this makes me think of, because you've got like one small amount of something here, and then you've got all this abundance down here, and based on what you focus on or how you balance these two things, right? Like that's what it made me think of. That's so funny. Thank you. And the Three of Pentacles. I love this. They're all sort of supporting each other and helping each other grow. That's what this makes me feel of. And this, it looks like these are actually like, it makes me think almost of onion bulbs or something, or even potatoes are like this. They might be potatoes. Potatoes are under the ground and they become this like network, and then they're growing off these shoots. I don't know if that made any sense, but it makes sense in my head. Four of Pentacles. Definitely holding on to what one has. A little bit unapproachable, maybe a little overprotective, but you don't immediately get greed, I don't think, with this. Definitely an idea of like sort of locked up resources in this chest or case that she's sitting on. The Five of Pentacles. Aww. Very almost Hansel and Gretel in this card. Like being lost in the forest, and he's like, come on, we gotta go find some help. And she's like, she's just overwhelmed and upset at the experience and doesn't wanna. Man, I've had moments like this where it's like, I know I need to grow, I know I need to move forward, but I don't wanna. I don't wanna. And the Six of Pentacles. So much rebalancing here. These two figures seem to be helping each other. The mama bird is feeding the baby birds. The cat's over here about to have a little something help too. It looks like he's about to go after these birds. Definitely some sharing and resources. The Seven of Pentacles, sort of tending what you're growing. You've already done the work. Now it's just this pensive moment of waiting to see how it's all going to turn out. Still doing the work you need to do. I feel like there's more here, and his little frowny face makes me want to see what the guidebook has to say about this one too. The Eight of Pentacles. That repetitive work, and these almost look a little bit like ants. Kind of like ant creatures that are storing and preparing for the winter, doing the sort of the drudgery, the repetitive work that's needed to keep things going. I love this Nine of Pentacles. This is great. She's got her garden. There's a bird, her tree. She's definitely kind of in her safe space there, enjoying her wealth. There can be an element in shadow of the Nine of Pentacles to sort of over-focusing on one's own stuff too, though, right? And I feel like you could definitely see that here as well. And the Ten of Pentacles. We've got legacy here, and we have the Kabbalistic Tree of Life shape to the Pentacles here up atop, which I like. Our Page of Pentacles. I like that she's got her little hunting knife or skinning knife there, and she's not afraid to get her hands dirty to do what she needs to do to ensure everything's going to go well. Our Knight of Pentacles riding a bull, carrying his resource, his treasure, but moving slowly. The Queen of Pentacles. She's like the one that's going to make sure that you're well fed, right? She's holding a cornucopia, which is great. She's got some what looks like grain or wheat in her backpack here, and all these creatures are coming to her because they know she'll make sure that they're taken care of. And here's our King of Pentacles. Lots of structure and stability built up over time. Definitely authority in this card as well, especially with the choice of color here with the reds. And he's being crowned, but you can tell this is like sort of crowning of the forest creatures. There's an element of respect in this card, which I like. So these must be our extra cards. So we have things are easier than you think. I think I'm going to shuffle that in. Yes. Embrace your inner child. I wonder if yes. I wonder if there's a no. Ooh, there's just a yes. That's interesting. Okay. And then embrace your inner child. And you are free. I think I'm going to keep those and shuffle them in just to be like a happy surprise. So let's take a look at shuffling. Let's zoom us out a little bit. These are so beautiful. Very, very well done. All the symbolism you need is there. A lot of times I think with artwork, it's easy to take a first look and be like, oh, it's not, what I want to see isn't in there. I'm not seeing it, right? And then you get up close and you spend a little time with it and you're like, oh my gosh, everything is there. These are going to be a delight to shuffle too, I can already tell. I love a linen cardstock. They're very thin. They are a little bit bigger. Nice bend, nice bridge, little slippy. I'll do one my normal way so you can see what that looks like. Oh, that linen cardstock. This is a really, really nicely produced deck. It does definitely feel like it's going to be durable. It feels really smooth. It shuffles really well. It's if you have trouble with thicker, stiffer cardstock, you won't have a problem with this one. It's very bendy. All right. Let's finish with a single card. Our Queen of Pentacles. So take time to nurture. Look at what you need to be feeding and nurturing. I love that. Okay. This is such a beautiful deck. Zara, you did an amazing, amazing job. Thank you so much for gifting me my copy. This is, oh, look at that beautiful fan. Oh my goodness. That is a stunner of a deck. Thank you so, so much, everybody, for joining me for this walkthrough. I cannot wait to hear what you think about the Playful Heart Tarot. Is this one you've already picked up? Did you back it on Kickstarter? Are you going to pick it up now? I would love to hear. Thank you so, so much for hanging out as I sort of deep dived into all the, deep dived into all the cards. Remember, if you want to book a reading with me, you can do that over at supportivetarot.com. And remember to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any of my future content. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!